Okay, sorry about that. So my husband and I did go home, and we relaxed the rest of the day. I got up, made dinner, and then about, I want to say like 4 o'clock, almost 4 o'clock, the doctor called me and she told me, I want you to go do an ultrasound just to check on the baby. She goes, I don't want to alarm you or anything like that, but the information that the doctor gave you was a little bit incorrect. The baby's heartbeat was 112 beats per minute. And I just want to make sure that everything's okay. So I'm like, okay, well, what time tomorrow? And she's like, around 11:30. And then I'm like, okay. So I let my husband know. He called work and he told them, can I go in late? So I'm like, they're like, okay, go ahead and come in late. Come in about 1. So the next day came, June 24th, a month after I did my ultrasound. We went, we did another ultrasound. She checked. She never turned it on for a heartbeat so we can hear a heartbeat. And then she's like, if you guys want to wait in the waiting room, I have to just talk to the doctor and then I will be out to get you. So I'm like, okay. So it took forever, and for some reason, as soon as, like within 5 minutes of waiting in the waiting room, I just started bawling. I just started crying, and for some reason, right then and there, I knew that I miscarried. And my husband started crying because he seen me crying and he didn't know what to think. And I told him, I was like, I think I lost the baby. He's like, how do you know? And I'm like, I just have this weird feeling in my heart that the baby's not there anymore and they can't find a heartbeat. And I want to know what's going on, and I want this lady to hurry up. Now, I want to say 45 minutes, an hour later, she came out and she's like, well, I want you to go up to your OB. She's waiting for you. We just called her. She had to cancel some appointments so she can see you. And I'm like, okay, can you tell me at least what's going on? And she goes, she'll explain everything to you. And I'm like, no, I honestly want to know what's going on. I don't mean to sound, you know, pushy, but this is my baby here, and this is my baby's life that you're dealing with. And she's like, well, I don't want to alarm you, but I didn't find a baby. Are you sure you were pregnant? And I'm like, yes, I was. I was in here a month ago to the day, and they found a heartbeat and everything. And she's like, okay. She goes, well, I would go upstairs and speak to your midwife. So I'm like, okay. Went upstairs. I'm at this time bawling. I call my mom and I let her know what's going on, and she calls her sister, my aunt that I'm very close to, and sorry, and she met us there. She didn't get there until after we were in talking with the doctor, but the doctor did tell us that there's a sac there, but the baby wasn't there. And she started talking to me about DNC and everything like that. I'm at this time bawling. I have my husband call his work to tell him he's not going in because of what happened. And it was a heartbreak. It was the hardest day of my life. Found out that we were pregnant just a month before. Found out that I was 8 weeks. Heard a baby's heartbeat. And then a month later, nothing. It was taken away from us silently. And I would like to say that I believe that the doctor had something to do with it, the technician had something to do with it, because I kept telling her that I felt pressure. And my midwife did tell me that the baby sac was torn. Okay, my husband and I, after that whole day on May 24th, we didn't have intercourse at all. I can honestly tell you that. So there was nothing that was going up there that was going to tear my baby sac. And I did express my feelings to the doctor. I did schedule a DNC for the 25th of June. Got that done. It was a day that I would never forget. It was a horrible day. I felt like I failed as a wife and as a mom and as a daughter. And it was the hardest thing that I've ever gone through. And the thing of the matter is, I don't know how I miscarried, or I never seen a baby pass through. I never bled. That's the thing. I never bled, so I don't know why, and I don't know how. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, and the doctors, the technician won't answer. Nobody will answer anything for me. My midwife, since then, since I had a miscarriage, she told me that unfortunately midwives don't deal with high-risk pregnancies. And I'm like, okay, so I went with the next best doctor that I could think of. And with my second miscarriage, I didn't know I was pregnant. We took pregnancy tests back to back, just like the first one, and they all came up negative. And then on September 21st, I went into the emergency room because I was bleeding uncontrollably, and I had blood clots passing the size of footballs. Sorry for too much information, but I was scared to death. They sent me home 3 times, and then after the 3rd time, I took my dad in there with me, and my mom, and everybody, and I told them, look, they are proof. I have blood all over my bathroom. Ambulance brought me in. You guys sent me home, said nothing. You know, I'm just having a really heavy period. So they checked me, and I was pregnant. And then, of course, I had a DNC. I had to stop the bleeding because I was miscarrying. And ever since my second miscarriage, I have been anemic since, and it's another one. Even though I never heard our baby's heartbeat or never got an actual positive pregnancy test at home, it was still my baby, and I still deserve the title of being a mom, even though others do say that I don't. Hold on one second, let me check the time. But it was hard, and I haven't gotten any support from my family. They're telling me now the only support system that I do have are my brother-in-laws, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, sister-in-law, and of course my husband, my mom and dad, and my sisters. Other than that, everybody else keeps telling me to give up. I'm too young to have kids. Yeah, I'm too young to have kids. When my cousin at 17, she wasn't even married, and she got pregnant, and then she got married through the Justice of Peace just because she was pregnant. Well, they say that supposedly they were going to get married. Sorry, I'm venting a little, but you know, that's just my thing. I am married. I have been married. I have been with my husband for 6 years, and I still haven't gotten pregnant. And it is hard when other people tell you that you shouldn't do it. No, you don't need it. When, you know what, everybody else need to just leave me alone. Let me be. Let me do what I want to do. That's my thing. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap this part up because there's another thing that I wanted to go over with, and some tips as well that I used to do. So it's going to be a part 4 and maybe a 5. Okay, see you in a second.